Sound check 1 2 1 2. Welcome in to another SR51 Media Show. I am your host, Saltares. Today's weather is pretty good today. A little cloudy, a little sunny, not too hot, not too cold. You know, we're in that middle point of the year where you might as well soak this sun up while you got it, because in a little bit, you know that winter is coming and you know it's coming strong because we had a hell of a summer. So hopefully you're having a good day today. There's some things out there in the news, the sports world. There's some things I want to talk about in the sports world. There's a couple things I want to talk about in gaming. Nothing too long. So to keep us in check, what I'm going to do... Oh, got some playback here. What I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to set up the background. So today I think I'm going to put on... Probably going to do 5 minutes a quarter. That'll come down to 20. Just do 20 minutes of whatever topics I have in mind, and then after that we jump into gameplay. I don't want to do anything longer than that. That way we don't spend too much time on topics. It's not going to be my Eagles. How about I saw them in the theme song. Yeah, it's a theme song basically for the game. I saw, how about the New York Jets with their new quarterback versus the Jaguars with their new quarterback. They're both closely ranked. I won't be playing either one. Continue on. Simulation, 5 minutes. So it'll be a 20-minute thing. Or should we go 6 minutes? Yeah, let's go 6 minutes just to cover ourselves. Nah, 6 minutes is too long. 5 minutes, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I don't want to put too much talk out there. 20 minutes of it. 20 minutes should... backed up. Let me select them again. Jaguars... Jets. Won't be controlling either one of these guys. 5 minutes, exhibition, simulation. And I think it's starting up. Okay, so I'm going to turn down the game audio in the background. So that way it's playing, but it's not too loud over me where you couldn't hear me while I was talking, and then it defeats the purpose. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, let me turn the TV down as well because they're going to come roaring in. Let me bring it down a little bit more for you. Okay, put it about right there. Bring the audio back to the computer. So one of the things that I noticed that I kind of took hold of, and this, don't get me wrong, I'm speaking from an Eagles perspective, right, as an Eagles fan. But if you're a fan of NFL and you have a team, this might apply to you as well. So one of the things that I noticed is when they talk about the NFC East lately and national media, when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about national media. And national media, they're saying that they're talking highly, to be honest, I've noticed this. Excuse me, let me get some water. Oh, actually, let me get some soda. 1 second. One of the things I noticed was there's kind of like a beatdown going on of my Eagles right now. Now, before we think that this is everybody is against just the Eagles, it's not just against the Eagles. Let's just take these past 6 to 7 years or so, right? During these past, let's say 6 or 7, maybe 8 years or so, call it what it is. Tom Brady has been punching the hell out of the NFL. You see what I'm saying? This guy has been punching people up on the Patriots. I don't know. I forget how many rings he won on the Patriots, and then he goes to the Buccaneers. The thing that made me sick, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to call it fair because I notice a lot of other YouTubers, don't get me wrong, there's shout out to all the other sportscaster YouTubers out there. But one of the things I notice is don't get me wrong, there's a line of respect that you have to keep when you're talking about sports and when you're talking about the media, because you have to understand that they work their butt off to get to that level. But some of the things I noticed, just take for instance the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl, right? We go into the season, and don't get me wrong, if you think that this is some like just random fan with my team stuff, look at your team too. Look at how you're talked about in the national media. Take a second and step back from your conference and start looking at how they talk about the NFL. Now, we started the season with Carson Wentz as our starter, right? He hadn't had that many health injuries, nothing like that. All season leading into it, the Eagles aren't going to win anything. The Eagles start winning, well, the Eagles won't continue to win. Carson Wentz get hurt, that's the end of the season. That's it. It's over. The Eagles season is done. Nick Foles comes in, well, he won't make them to the playoffs. He gets to the playoffs, well, he won't make it far in the playoffs. He gets to the Super Bowl, he won't win the Super Bowl. He wins the Super Bowl before there's even 2 months that pass. If you don't believe me, you can YouTube the clips. Before 2 months got past, the national media was talking about, well, the Philadelphia Eagles won't go back to back. Here's my thing, right? Why is it that when it comes to teams that are not the Dallas Cowboys, or I would have to say the Dallas Cowboys, and it used to be the Patriots a little bit, but the reason why I was willing to let it go with the Patriots versus with the Dallas Cowboys is the Patriots have won like 4 or 5 Super Bowls in the past 10 years. You see what I'm saying? Now, understand something. This is not a ring count. You know, my Eagles have several NFC championships, but from what I can tell, this is the first Super Bowl in the modern day era away from the World Championship style Super Bowl, okay? The point I'm trying to explain is, if Tom Brady has been winning all the other Super Bowls, and the only teams that have punched back before Brady left the Patriots, from what I can remember, there was only a select amount of teams that was able to punch back on him. The Packers, the Giants. I know the Giants won 2. I'm looking in just out of our division. The Giants have won 2 Super Bowls in the past couple of years or so. The Washington football team has improved their defense. I'm not even a fan of these people. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't hold no hate towards their fan base because I feel like we're all on the same level. But on a team level, New York won a couple Super Bowls way back with Eli Manning. They punched back on the Patriots and them. The Washington football team has really improved their defense. They're looking like they're ready to go this year. So, to me, if you were saying, okay, well, these teams are better and they're going to be better than the Eagles and the Cowboys, I would take that because I would feel like, okay, Dak broke his leg last year. We don't know what he is. To be honest, Ezekiel Elliott hasn't. Now, I say this in all respect to all players, but I'm calling it the way I see it as a fan and the way I see it in the stats, okay? Ezekiel Elliott hasn't been the same dominant guy that he was a year back. Saquon Barkley is coming back from injury. So, you know, thinking that everybody's in a prove-it mode is understandable. But just to come out and say, well, we saw Dak Prescott throw a couple balls in the summer, in the preseason, in a practice squad, and we think Dak is the best Prescott. Look at the interviews. Dallas is going to just destroy the NFC East. The NFC least. Like, here's my thing. What were y'all winning? Like, if we go before Patrick Mahomes, before Lamar Jackson, before Trevor Lawrence, what were you winning? You see what I'm saying? Let's talk. If you're not talking championships, let's talk playoffs. What playoffs were you in? You see, last time I checked, if the Eagles are winning the NFC East and winning the NFC championships and things like that, then you weren't there. You know, when Tony Romo was running things, yes, there were some days during the season where we would go 1-1, or sometimes we would lose 0-2 to Dallas. But typically, when the playoffs rolled around, McNabb had our game running. You know, I remember the Super Bowl and wanting to win that, but once again, getting to the Super Bowl, we got there with McNabb. We got there with our previous coach. We got there with Doug Peterson, and now we're in a, let's say, rebuild. I'm willing to admit it. We're in a rebuild mode right now. Now, during a rebuild mode, can you win? Yes, you can win games during a rebuild. What takes me out is some of the things I saw, like when Carson Wentz got traded to the Colts, right? Now, if you want me to believe that the Colts are a better team than the Eagles, you can get out of here with that. Because of the fact that, to be honest, they never really had a star quarterback. You traded for ours, right? I'm not going to hate on Carson Wentz and say that this man is trash and all this other sort of stuff. That's not the way the case of it is. What happened there, if I could sum it up, basically he got injured. They brought in a quarterback behind him because they wanted to bring in insurance. He didn't like the fact that it happened. He wanted out, and we wanted him gone, and he's gone. Now, does that mean that just because he put on another jersey somewhere else that he's trash? No. I'm not going to sit up here and say that. 1 second. Get some juice. Refreshments. I'm not going to... Hold on 1 second. I'm not going to sit up here and lie, okay, and say that Ezekiel Elliott isn't one of the best running backs in the game, because he is, okay? Even though he wears Dallas, doesn't matter, okay? One of the best running backs in the NFL right now. Saquon Barkley, one of the best one of the best running backs in the NFL when they're healthy, when they have a good line, one of the best running backs in the league. I would say the same thing for Miles Sanders. I think Miles has improved himself and made himself into a workhorse running back. Now, he has to put up a lot more yardage to equal up to what Saquon and Ezekiel have done, but they've been in the league before him. I think we have a good running back. Washington, like I mentioned before, Washington's defense has gotten better. So I don't think the NFC itself, the NFC East, is going to be this weakling standing that you want to call it what it is, okay? But if you want to call it the way you see it, right, the champions have been the Giants and the Eagles. Now, the most sickening thing, like I said, I saw was the fact that there was so much vile and venom. I heard on NFL Network, I was watching a YouTube post. This is how much I don't watch NFL Network anymore as far as right now. It depends on who's the host, right? I come to the YouTube video, and the host woman, I forget her name by accident. Nothing against you, but I'm not going to try to brutalize your name. I don't remember it like that. She turned to one of the guests that was taking the place of Nate. I remember it was Nate Burles, if I'm not mistaken, that's his name. The first thing she said was, "You've had so much venom and vile for the Eagles these past couple weeks. How do you feel about this?" So the first thing it lets me know is, as a fan of NFL Network, Good Morning America and stuff like that, Good Morning Football and stuff, that basically yet another player, right, that probably played against us for a little bit or never played for the Eagles, has so much vile and venom and hate towards the team that's all he can talk about. He can't talk about the new and improvements. Think about it. They don't have the same coach. They don't have the same offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, talent scouts, nothing. Quarterback ain't the same. Wide receivers ain't the same. You know, the only thing you can really tag on is like the offensive lineman, couple defensive guys, and a tight end. You know, that's really the same guys from the Super Bowl era, you know? And it's like venom and vile, and they're not going to do this, and it's not going to happen. There's no way. And it's like, I don't understand myself where it comes from, because just to be honest, I call it the way I see it. It's hater juice. These guys are haters. I hate to put it on them. I know there's a lot of, national media. If you hear it, you hear it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not looking to gain the approval of them. I'm looking to make good content for the 51 Dynasties. When the 51 Dynasties come back to this video, I'm not going to sit up here and say the Eagles are winning the Super Bowl, but do I believe they're going to have a good season? I believe they might be pretty good this year, because a lot of people have to prove who they are. So you have to understand, a lot of people are playing for their job. I'm an Eagles fan, and I'm going to tell you, yes, I'm rooting for Jalen Hurts, but if Jalen can't get the job done, we got to go get us a quarterback. We have 3 possible first-round picks coming this year. Nothing against Jalen Hurts, but he has to be the guy. If he's not the guy, we have to move on. So you have to understand, think about the team when Donovan McNabb was the quarterback and when Donovan McNabb wasn't the quarterback until we got Carson Wentz. We had some of the worst years in the world. I still remember Sammy Sleeves throwing us losses and throwing interceptions, trading for Sam Bradford like that was the best move to happen. So the thing of it is, I'm not going to, and also I'm going to say it like this. I don't believe that Dak Prescott is trash. No, I have a dislike for the organization of the Cowboys, because that's just how the rivalry works. But when it comes down to players, dude can play ball. Now, the thing that I don't hear talked about, which is massively surprising, is how is he going to hold up? I mean, the man basically broke his leg last year, ankle, part of his leg, whatever part you want to call. He broke something on his leg. And to sit up here and say that, well, we saw him throw some balls in training camp and he told us that he's fine, well, I guess he's fine, it's ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? When you're sitting up here talking about Carson Wentz and I remember when he was an Eagle, I don't know if Carson Wentz can be the same Carson Wentz. He got hurt on his knee. He doesn't know if he is Carson Wentz. I think even when he was playing for us, he's not as good as Dak Prescott. Keep in mind, this man put us in a position to win a Super Bowl. Yes, he got hurt. I know it's the part where most Eagles fans are like, forget Carson Wentz and stuff, but let's be honest. The man won us a good amount of games to put us in a position to win a Super Bowl. As it stands right now, Carson Wentz is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Yes, he did not play in it because he was injured, but he still put us in a position to win, and he holds a ring to this day. Dak, at the same time, nothing against him, Dak hasn't won anything. Ryan Fitzpatrick has won nothing. Daniel Jones, if I'm calling his name correctly, has won nothing. So to say that when we had Carson Wentz at the time that we were the worst team was ridiculous, plain ridiculous, because of the fact that that's how the narrative works. See, when you stir the pot, I don't take part in this, but I've talked about it in the past. I'm pretty sure there's some YouTube videos out there in the beginning and some of the podcasts where I talked about it. When you stir the pot, okay, and then, before we get to halftime here, I'm going to be switching to the gaming side of things, so I want to keep in a certain quarters, right? When you stir the pot when it comes to NFL media and stuff, you get a lot of attention. You see what I'm saying? It's different with Stephen A. Smith, right? Like, I respect him because of the fact that he's always felt it the way he felt about the Cowboys, and he's never hidden it, right? He doesn't flip-flop. He was that way when Skip Bayless was there. I respect people like Skip Bayless. I respect people like Michael Irvin. These are the Deion Sanders. I respect these three Cowboys because when they do bad, they admit that they're doing bad. When they do good, they talk good about them, and I'm willing to hear it. It's like, okay, if the Cowboys beat us, I don't have a problem with hearing Michael Irvin on NFL Network, because Michael Irvin gonna call it fair. He's gonna talk about some of the things that we didn't do well and why we lost, right? If the Cowboys lose, I'm willing to hear Michael Irvin out because Michael Irvin's gonna get on them. You see what I'm saying? He's gonna say, hey, look, da-da-da-da-da, bing, bang, boom, we didn't do this right, Skip Bayless will talk about how he's disappointed in his Cowboys and stuff like that, even during the game on Twitter, right? But to call it fair, some of these other media analysts, and just calling it the way I see it, some of these other media analysts that are not on the level of some of these other guys, they look for the stir-the-pot method, Oh, well, I hate the Eagles. The Eagles suck. The Eagles ain't going to do this. Because it's like a fan base that will attract to you when you do that. You see what I'm saying? But when you do that, for me, I turn the channel. You see what I'm saying? I'm one of those type of people where I had a person one time, shout out to him, I had a person one time ask me how I feel about Max Kellerman on ESPN. And I told him straight to his face, I have not watched that man this whole season. When the Eagles game comes on, before it comes on, I'm typically watching YouTubers and the Philadelphia Eagles themselves. This is a word of advice for anybody looking into the season this year as an NFL fan. Watch your local people first. Do not jump to the ESPNs, the NFL networks. Don't get me wrong. Even when you win, I know you may be sitting here thinking, like, oh, this is just the Eagles thing. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. They won like 10-0 last year. Everybody believed they were going to win everything in the world. When they got to the playoffs and they lost, all they did was trash them. Well, they never had anything together. I think Juju Smith is leaving. I think Ben Roethlisberger has passed his time. Flip-flop. You see what I'm saying? Flip-flop. 1 minute you're on one side, then when it changes the narrative at the end of the game, you're on another. You see what I'm saying? For me, like I said, before it comes on, I'm watching the local YouTubers that's been talking about the Eagles from day one because they're going to call it fair. If they play a stupid game and they don't do what they're supposed to do, they're going to call it fair and say they need to change up, right? National is going to choose on a national standpoint to please the national crowd. You see what I'm saying? How I see it is, it's a team value thing, They know that they're playing to a fan base that's going to play to them. A lot of us, like I told the guy, I was like, and I'm being straight up honest with you. Like I told him, I don't watch any of that Max Kellerman because I listened to Max Kellerman when he was still with Marcellus Wiley. I used to listen to him all the time. He was one of my favorite podcasts when he was with Marcellus Wiley. And if I remember correctly, I don't know if he still goes by the same thing, but he was a New York Giants fan at the time, right? Now to come over and say that you're going to bash on the Eagles, that's understandable. You're a New York Giants fan. But what I don't like to see is people that have no real credibility to do it. Max is a New York Giants fan. I expect that from him. You know, Michael Irvin's a Cowboy guy. I expect that from him. Skip Bayless is a Cowboy guy. I expect that from him. I don't know where Shannon Sharp falls. Last time I checked, I forget exact. I don't want to quote him, but I think he might fall with a different team in NFC besides us, right? But when I watch these guys and I'm listening to them talk, what I get back from it is information. You see what I'm saying? They're telling me something that I didn't see. Skip is like, well, you know the reason why the Eagles lost because such and such happened. Or they'll call it fair before we'll call it. A lot of times there's, in the Eagle fan base itself, there's a lot of attachment to people that are not winning. See, right now, and to call it fair, I was always yelling this when I was younger. I was about winning. Yes, I loved Andy Reid, and I loved what Andy could bring to the team, but Andy never got us over the hurdle, right? Doug Peterson got us over the hurdle. Now, do I think Doug was the best coach for us going forward? With everything that he did and everything that caused the whole Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts thing, no. Was he a good coach? Yes. Now, wherever he goes, it'll depend on somebody if somebody wants to hand him the locker room again. But how I'm seeing it now is the vile and the venom that's coming towards the team. I just avoid it, you know? Like, I don't really watch a lot of these guys. Like, even when I'm watching other teams, I will watch their announcer. I watch the national announcer for the game. But when I'm looking to hear, like, especially with my team, I'm going to the Tube. I'm going to TikTok. I'm going to Instagram. I'm going to Twitter. Even during the game, a lot of times if you're looking for me, I'm in the Fly Eagles Fly room in Twitter, and we're talking about the game, you know? So I don't put myself in situations where that negativity and venom and vile comes towards me because I'm not putting myself or putting the brand in that type of standpoint. You see what I'm saying? I can't sit up here and tell you that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl because nobody knows what's going to happen this year. But do I believe we're going to be as bad as people think we are going to be? No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that anybody in the NFC East is going to be that bad because people are playing to prove their position. You see what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts has to know in the back of his mind, okay, if I'm not the guy, the fan base, like when they're, because you got to understand the playoffs for college a lot of times launch right around the time of the, you know, close to the end of the year of football. So you got to imagine, let's say college playoffs is going, and in the playoffs, there's at least, from what I know, at least 10 or 12 teams, right? Now, let's say 8 of those quarterbacks that are playing for these teams are seniors, meaning they're coming out this year, right? And the Philadelphia Eagles don't make the playoffs. It's going to divide us as a fan base because some of us are going to feel like we need to continue with Jalen. I'm telling you, I'm saying it now. You know, put it in quotes. Some of us is going to feel like we need to stick with Jalen Hurts and ride the boat out with him. And some other ones are going to feel we need to take the draft pick and pick up a quarterback. To me, I want to do the things that make us win. You see what I'm saying? If Jalen Hurts comes out there and let's say he throws us into a position, like I've heard people say, I don't think the Eagles are good enough to get a wild card. I don't think the Eagles are good enough to get into the playoffs. Here's my thing. I do feel as though he should put us in a position to be in the playoffs, but a lot of that's not going to come down to just him. You know, people have to catch balls. Even with Devontae Smith, you know, here's my thing. I want to be in the playoffs just to have the shot, but it depends on how close we come. If you get into the playoffs or a wild card, I'm willing to accept that. You know, if you get into the playoffs straight up with like a bye, I'm willing to accept that. You don't even have to win your first series, honestly. You don't even have to win the first series or the first round at all. Hang on, babe. So put it on a bow on this before we switch to the next topic because they're about to go to halftime. Basically, just be aware of the negative energy when it comes to football season this year. You know, use your YouTube, use your TikTok, use your Twitter. Find other people other than myself. You know, in Rosaries, there's a lot of other people doing. There's a lot of other podcasts and YouTubers that are and Twitch guys that are dedicated to just sports. You know, like they talk just sports and they get in depth. You know, and a lot of times I find that it's not like they're just coddling the team because they will call dudes out just like anybody else. But the difference is they're about your team. You see what I'm saying? They're not about impressing the mass. So they're not gonna say what haters and things like that say. They're gonna say legitimate stuff. So just wanted to put that out there before the NFL season starts, that basically, watch who you're listening to and watch what you're watching, because it can change your experience. I know there's been some times in the past, a couple years ago, I had to find it out for myself that especially when your team loses, right? Excuse me, like when your team loses, the last thing you want to hear from, if let's prime example, if you were a Washington football team fan and your team lost to the New York Giants, the last thing you want to do is tune in to Max Kellerman and ESPN. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with NFL Network and the rest. I've noticed a couple of guys that, to me, they never really give credit to, they come up with the NFC least thing came from a lot of announcers and a lot of people, right? But when you add it up, if we had to really put it together, the Giants have won a lot of Super Bowls. The Cowboys have won a lot of Super Bowls. The Eagles won their Super Bowl. When you go to other divisions and things like that, it ain't a lot of bowl appearances. Hell, it ain't even been a lot of playoff appearances. So to keep it fair, you got to stay level in what you're listening to, because sometimes they'll have you believing that your team is really messed up. Like if you don't believe me on anything I was saying along with this topic, just do your little research. Just type in Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl NFL Network interview, right? Look at how they said from the beginning of the season we weren't going to win anything, and then at every different point they moved the goalposts. You won't win the season. You won't make the playoffs. You won't go deep in the playoffs. You won't win the Super Bowl. You won't back-to-back. You didn't say that about Patrick Mahomes when he didn't back-to-back. I'm pretty sure he won it. Didn't he win the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken? They're not saying that about Tom Brady. Nobody, just to show you how much they know, Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers and nobody expected him to win the Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? This man went. That's how you show greatness right there. That a man was able to go to a whole other team and the first year bring them to the bowl. Do I believe they're going to the playoffs? Yup. 9 times out of 10, just to say it straight up before we bounce, Seahawks, Packers, Buccaneers, these 3 teams, I'd give you, they're probably going to the playoffs, definitely. You see what I'm saying? Because they got things to prove. Aaron out there trying to prove something, Tom Brady trying to prove something, and the Seahawks is a pretty good team, So I could say, yeah, these 3 teams probably going to make it. So to sit up here and say that we're not, especially when we're only a couple years removed from the Super Bowl, is stupid. It's point blank stupid. I'm not one of those people that do 4 and 5 and 6 hour long podcasts about sports announcers. So, we'll leave it at basically just have you a more positive experience when it comes to NFL, because you don't need that negativity, especially in a loss. So the other side of things for this next set of quarters I want to talk about was I did see a lot of let me put this in the chat as well for anybody that's coming in here so they can know. Right now we are on topics, and after this it will be our franchise mode play. This is background gameplay. So the other side of things, right? We talked about the sports, and I know you was probably expecting something a little different. I know you was probably expecting so much hate and everything that come my way towards the Cowboys and national media. That's not what it's about, at all. It's never. And during the year when we talk about sports and stuff, that's not what I'm about. That's not how I react to NFL. As long as we keep it respectful, you can like whatever team you like. That's what's the glory of the NFL and the glory of a free America. You know what I'm saying? So the other thing was, I noticed there was some gaming news. Oh, he going downfield. What's up with it? Did he catch? Oh, he almost caught it. So one of the things I noticed that was brought up a lot this last couple days was basically a mix-up with Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon. Yeah, Horizon. What's in Horizon Zero Dawn? Let me check this up, just to make sure that I have the right information. Horizon Forbidden West, right? Here's the thing about this, and I'll drop it here today in the chat. I sold my PS4, okay? Now the reason why I sold my PS4 is I don't hate PlayStation, okay? There's no like hate or, you know, venom for it or anything like that. What I found was I really just didn't have enough time for all three consoles. You know, Xbox takes care of me on a console standpoint, and Nintendo takes care of portable. It's even got to the point now where somebody in Xbox was thinking smart. You see what I'm saying? Somebody said, somebody told them to get a cloud streaming together, and as it stands right now, Xbox is no longer a home console. See, what I noticed with my PlayStation was, for me to play my PlayStation, I had to be at home in front of it. You know, when I'm out in the streets, whether it be work, going out with friends, being out with family, a lot of times they'll have a Switch with them and we can link up. The Xbox thing has just come out. Now, the one thing you really can't do so far is stream from a tablet when you're gone, but there's some options that's going to come available, obviously, because more people are on their streaming platforms. To me, it didn't make sense to continue paying a subscription to a platform that I didn't play in a whole month, right? And to call it fair, some of the games that were coming out didn't appeal to me. Like Ghost of Tsushima doesn't really appeal to me like that. Horizon Forbidden West, the original game I didn't play. I liked the way it looked, and I thought it was pretty cool. But, you know, once I saw that you had to play as the girl and there was no real customization there except for probably weapons, it didn't appeal to me like that. Spider-Man's a great game, and God of War is a great franchise. But to go out and buy a $600 console or more, depending on where I get it from, just to play a God of War that's not coming right now is not the way I wanted to go. So I got rid of it, okay? When I got rid of it, I also decided that information and news that are not national headlines type of thing, I'm not going to be reporting on. So what that means is I'm not going to be tweeting, retweeting, reposting on Facebook, anything like that that I myself cannot speak to. Now, when this PlayStation thing came out with, I guess what I'm reading here is the upgrade part. When I bought Madden, I bought the $100 edition to avoid me buying a game that I could not upgrade on my Xbox Series X later. As it stands, I'm still in the hunt for Xbox Series X, and for me, I'm taking it at my own pace because I feel that we're entering the part of the year where there's, from what I can see, there's starting to be more available than what it was previously. Now, that's either from, you know, because I've checked places, I'm in tune with places like StockX, in tune with the inventory bots and things like that, so I'm keeping up on it. But as it stands right now, I'm still in the hunt, gonna go and, you know, go and get an X. What you don't need to worry about is that just because I've gotten rid of my PlayStation, that there's going to be hate towards PlayStation. Look, it's just like sports teams, okay? Everybody has their team. Everybody has the things they ride with. To me, I like having my games on the go. One of the things that I didn't like that Sony did was they're not investing in streaming capabilities. So what that means is, I know everybody says, now this is just me, okay? And I'm going to call it the way I see it. I live on the West Coast in Washington. Okay, and I have basically good internet. Okay, anytime I can host a stream like this running, and I can make videos and upload those, and I'm active on Twitter all the time, and I'm on TikTok and all this, my internet works pretty good when I'm home. Now, to call it fair, if you dip down an alley, if you dip down a road somewhere around some trees, you may lose your signal. Okay, I'm not going to sit up here and make it seem like, you know, I'm not going to sit up here and, hold on, got to switch power outlets. I'm not gonna sit up here. I'm not gonna sit up here and make it seem like if, you know, you lean down a deeper road that you won't, you know, bump into bad signal coverage, because it is true, you will. But I think that people's idea of, well, we can't like streaming because then there won't be consoles. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I missed one generation, which was the Atari generation. But every other generation, the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the Game Boy, and everything up from that, including Sega, I was there for. To me, I don't really worry if there's a box or not, because I'm worried about the games. If Xbox says in 3 years we're not releasing another Xbox and we're gonna focus on games, that means more games. You don't understand. You know, it's not a. It doesn't have to be. And I heard this from Phil Spencer one time. You know, he said something about it was kind of like Sony doesn't have to die for Xbox to be profitable, and it's the same way back and forth. Sony doesn't have to. Xbox doesn't have to die for Sony to be profitable. They're in. A lot of these people are friends with each other. I hate to break it to some people. You know, I hate to bust their bubble, but a lot of these guys went to college together. A lot of these guys pound brewskis together after the job. A lot of them talk to each other. A lot of them meet up at conventions, and they look at you like you crazy. When you sitting up there talking about PlayStation versus Xbox and Xbox versus PlayStation, you can't like one or another. Like, nigga, are you stupid? I straight up would tell you God of War is one of the best old school beat 'em ups that I've ever seen out in my day. Now, does that mean I'm going to buy a system for it? No. Just like somebody might say, I'm not buying a system for Halo. You see what I'm saying? That's how it works. You don't have to be Venom just to report on the damn thing, you know? It's like, let's get some positivity. This is video games we're talking about here, you know? One of the things I would say, that is a mistake that Sony's doing, and I'll tell you a mistake that the Xbox is doing, all of them. Sony's making a mistake by not investing in streaming. Because in a couple of years, not even in a couple of years, as it stands right now, I saw yesterday they got a controller attachment out where you could play your Switch on top of the Pro Controller. Nigga, I'm done. I was like, oh my God, here comes another thing that I'm about to buy. But you know what I thought about? My Nintendo Switch OLED would look perfect on top of a Pro Controller, where I ain't got to play it by the hand of the sticks. Even though I like playing it with the controllers attached. That looks pretty good as well, right? So that's yet another piece of equipment that has me tailored to want to buy deeper into Nintendo. Xbox tells me, well, we got xCloud going, so if you own a Mac computer, or you own an iPad, or you own Android, you can play your games on the go. So what does that mean? Now, when I pack up the bag, the Xbox gets packed up as well. PlayStation, if you don't know, signed an agreement, I want to say a year or so ago, that they are going to get into streaming, and they are going to use Microsoft servers to do it. That doesn't mean that, you know, to me, when I saw that, I was like, this is them yet again working together on something, showing people that, yes, they're in competition, but they're not in competition. They realize that the bigger competition is the Googles, the Apples, you know, the guys that mobile games make God only knows how much money, you know, and have people playing it every day. You know, some people are just mobile gamers. Now, to me, we're all gamers. You know, that's the thing that I think people get tripped up on. We're all gamers. You may be a gamer on Sony. I may be a gamer on Xbox and Nintendo, and vice versa, right? But what ends up happening is we have to benefit better as gamers. Now, I applaud Sony for reversing this decision that they made. I think it was they were going to charge people for the upgrade in Horizon Forbidden West, and then they changed their mind and they said they're not. Here's my thing, right? Just because I got rid of my PlayStation doesn't mean I'm not going to stay attuned to the news. When things affect us all, I will report on it. If I cannot place myself or know enough about the topic to talk about it, I'm not talking about it. Okay, that's just not going to happen. The Horizon Forbidden West thing, it's because Xbox has smart delivery and PlayStation doesn't. Now, they're trying to work it out where the games that you buy, you can upgrade to the next console. To me, like I was saying, when I look at consoles for sale, I would say earlier this year, there was a couple, 4 or 5, things like that. But now that we're starting to get to a point where they're more of a hot commodity item, the prices are starting to go up and there's starting to be fewer of them, okay? So you have to make smart decisions. To me, I look at it like I got the rest of this year to scoop up that system. Nothing came out. Don't get me wrong. Yes, Madden, this is Madden on last gen, right? And when I upgrade, you will see Madden from next gen. But the reason why I'm upgrading is not just for the system. Like when I look at Xbox, I'm like, you ain't brought out nothing that would make me update this joint for the system, right? That 120 frames thing, I ain't worried about that. I look at it like 4K is 4K and 8K is 8K. Call me when you get to 8K. You dig me? Like how it was back in the day when, if you remember, when we had standard TVs. When you had a standard TV and 4K come out, did you run out and get a 4K TV? Or did you wait till the 4K TV costed the right amount of money? It's the same thing with 8K and 120 frames. I'm like, I'm not upgrading my TV. I got a new, brand new, I think it's like 75 or 85 inch Sony Ultra High Def or whatever the hell it is, 4K and everything. I'm not going out and buying another damn TV for this stuff just for 120 frames. You can forget that. So the system has appeal, but it's not enough to bring me in just for no graphics. See, what's bringing me in is the games. Madden has a home field advantage that you can see in 2K in the new games. WWE Raw 2K. I say WWE Raw like this is Nintendo. Excuse me. WWE 2K22, if you don't know, is on the way. Coming next year. I think it's either February or March. Saints Row game has finally announced that, if I'm not mistaken, let me look it up. The Saints Row game releases, if I'm not mistaken, let me look this up here. When does Saints Row, when does Saints Row 5 release? No. I gotta type it in. When does the new Saints? When does the new Saints Row come out? February 25th, 2022. Okay, so you have Call of Duty, Battlefield, what's the other one? WWE 2K, and now Saints Row, all bulking up the rest of this year and into next year, right? To me, that's what you buy a system for. You buy a system to take advantage of the new graphics on Battlefield 2042. You buy a system to see the new graphics and the updated graphics on WWE 2K22. Saints Row, I'm going to be there day one. I'm a huge fan of Saints Row games. I will be there as long as, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told you with Madden. As long as everything holds and nothing changes on my end, you know, as long as they say the money don't get funny or something, or I got to work or something like that, I will be there day one for WWE 2K22, and I will be there day one for Saints Row's game release. Right now, I'm still on the fence when it comes to Call of Duty and Battlefield. I'm going to say it right here on the chat. I'm going to let it go, you know, premiere it, that I do believe Battlefield 2042 looks like the better game. It's just me, okay? I'm not one of those people that believe that, like, I don't like World War II shooters. You know, I don't like iron sights. I don't like slow loading guns and old you know, battles like that. I'm just not a fan of it. I played a little bit of it when Battlefield came out with Battlefield, I think it was 5 or 1, and Call of Duty came out with their Call of Duty, but I'm more either present or future fighter. You know, I'm starting to get very picky with the games I buy, because in previous years there were some games that I just bought and I didn't actually play them in full. So I'm trying to be more cautious, because there's been some previous years where I bought Call of Duty and then turned around and was playing Battlefield on EA Access. So I'm like, and you know, going forward, I'm gonna buy the Battlefield and not play Call of Duty, you know, because that's an extra $100 that I can put towards something else, you know. So the thing of it is, with the consoles, if you haven't got one yet to say anything about it, don't feel left out, because there's hundreds of thousands of people that are not. There's some people that are like, I'm not willing to buy things from scalpers. That I'm not going to do that. So some people probably will be waiting, if I had to guess, into next year, with no wonders about it. At least into next year, because unless they get a shipment, you know, unless some magical shipment of Xbox Series X's and what's the name of the other thing? Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, and just to let you know, the Nintendo Switch OLED pre-orders are sold out. Okay, they got sold out a couple days after the fact. Myself, Saltares, and Rosaries, we were able to secure two pre-orders, so we should have it in hand. I plan on doing streams from it, you know, maybe get some games going. I'm still trying to think of what game to play. I have Pokemon Unite. I have NBA 2K21. I'm thinking about getting 2K22 on there. You know, I was gonna get 2K22 on Xbox so that way I can stream it, but I can always stream the 2K from Nintendo as well. That's another thing that I'm gonna be bringing to the channel in a little bit forward is Nintendo games. One thing that I noticed was we were Xbox heavy. I just started the channel not too long ago, so I was going with what was hooked up. But when we do get the OLED, we will be using that to play some Switch games and, you know, spice things up. Some days maybe it'll be a Switch stream, a Nintendo Switch stream. The next day it might be an Xbox stream. But I wanted to bring these things up because I noticed that for me, right, yes, I listen to content creators that participate in the console war and stuff like that. But one thing that keeps me and Rosaries from leaning over that side of the line is most of the people that you're fighting about are friends. You know, it's like one of those things where, like, prime example, the Dallas Cowboys made a trade, if I'm not mistaken. The Dallas Cowboys made a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles so that way we could get Devontae Smith, and the Cowboys could get, if I'm not mistaken, Michael Parsons. Now, in doing that, we basically screwed over the New York Giants and the Washington football team. But at that time, who cares? You see what I'm saying? When those two GMs and those two front office people are on the phone and they're seeing, you know, I get my player, you get your player, and then we go back to competing next year, that's called crossing the line. You see what I'm saying? As far as work, it's called working the aisle, like in politics. You're working the aisle on both sides of the fence, right? That's the same sort of thing with Xbox and PlayStation. Yes, they are in competition because they are two separate companies, but a lot of times you'll see them congratulating each other on things, big upping each other on things. I'm pretty sure probably people are from Xbox are going to talk about they just got their Nintendo Switch OLED when that comes out. So if anything, just keep that in mind when you're commenting online, because if you put out Venom, I feel like when you put out Venom and Vile about stuff, you're going to get trolls and Venom stuff towards you, you know? I don't participate in anything like that. Any sort of trolling or venoming and stuff like that, I just basically block it and move on. So this game is wrapping up. You know, we had our 20 minutes of just chopping it up about topics. That is over now. You know, just wanted to get a couple things out this morning. Let these guys have their ender. Let me get you a little bit more volume. Just a little bit more volume on the game. So that way you can hear it, but it's not super loud. And we are going to be diving into our Red Dragon season. It's a good game. They beat them 14-3. End of match. Did you have fun in your last matchup? Yes. That's surprising. It was a fun matchup watching them dudes play. Jumping into our franchise. Red Dragons. I really thought I was going to be able to get my quarterback to like a superstar level. Let me see something. I want to check in on all the players that are rookies to see how they're coming along. To see. All right, I'm a 79 star. Okay. So I developed into a star. Okay, that's cool. Our halfback. Still hidden. Got to put him in a couple more games to see. Wide receivers. Bennett is hurt. But let's see. Has he blossomed yet? Nope, he's still hidden. Gotta wait to see what he is. Tight end. Bunkley. What is Bunkley? Bunkley's still hidden. He's about to turn out eventually. Left end. Wilbur. Hidden still. Okay, he's playing above his tempo though. Okay, cornerbacks. Garner. Still hidden. Gotta wait to see what he's gonna come out to be. Free safety. Farley came out to be a star. That's great. Developed him into a star. Strong safety. Westerman. Hidden. Okay, so some players are still hidden. We got to put in a little bit more time to see how they're going to work. Before we start this game, give me 1 second.
Twin Cities. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between our visitors and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
On the other side of the field for our visitors here, the streak continues, doesn't it? They come in here a perfect 11-0. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
The CD, you know, this offense at 11-0 now on the year. A few weeks ago, I remember asking you what kind of percentage chance that you thought they had at staying unbeaten the entire season. I think you said 25%. I'd imagine that number probably grown since then.
I would agree with you, and I'm going to actually bump it up to closer to 50%. Only because they still have some tough games to come, and keeping that focus throughout the entire season, that's been a really difficult thing to pull off. But so far, they've done it, and they've done it well.
And here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. It'll be a net of 39, 41-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. So here come the Vikings as they get set for their first drive. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the former Louisville Cardinal, Teddy Bridgewater.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and it'll make it 2nd down. Here's Bridgewater. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 yards, 1st down, Vikings. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make...
Oh, it's out. Smith lost it. It's going the other way. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. Obviously, you got to hold on to the football, but I've got to give credit to the defense there. Good job of knocking it free.
Yeah, because a lot of the time we just blame the offensive players for not taking care of it. How about the effort of the defensive players knowing that guys are going to, and if they're good, anticipate the contact coming and try and cover up the football. And they still find ways to knock it free.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 46. Sliding out of the pocket. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Consecutive runs of 6 yards gives him a 1st and 10.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
first down. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
On 2nd down now, Barrow. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3.
He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there. Of course you're going to give it to him.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. Then he'll take it all the way up near the 30-yard line.
That pick hurts a little extra because it was 3rd down. You were already in field goal range.
You know what he's going to hear all night, all next week? Situational football. Understand what's going on because you expressed it perfectly. 3 points were in their hip pocket. They had those. Now, those went by the wayside. You cannot make those kind of mistakes.
It's what you call a rookie mistake. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Five yards remain on 2nd down.
Out of the gun, Bridgewater.
Swinging this out wide here for Cook.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
On 1st and 10, Bridgewater.
He's going to get this one down to Cook.
And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Bridgewater, and that is incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. Here's Madison running on 1st down. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
This defense has really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Bridgewater. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Tight end Herb Smith, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Bridgewater. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
That's a nice Sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger game.
Now Bridgewater on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And as a result, possession switches hands. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
The offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. Open man, that's Devontae Smith. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Now back to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Again, he'll drop to throw.
I was on mute this whole time. Give me 1 second. All right, my controller keeps disconnecting, and I just realized I had the mic muted. Timeout. It's cool. Timeout. Get the field goal. Put field goal points up.
His kick
That's right.
Action on the scoreboard just before halftime. It's 3-0. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Congrats on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, they'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
They're throwing.
Minnesota offense about ready.
Come on, interception, run back.
Underway as they'll take over with just 13 seconds to go before the break. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. On 2nd and 1, Bridgewater. Open here, Adam Thielen. And we're going to get
Bridgewater, a scrambler. They kind of hard to catch up to.
second quarter. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Final play and a half, Bridgewater.
We'll take that. Chris Harris Jr. We don't need no halftime. Let's do this. All right, now, if we can play some tough defense to get the ball back, that'll be what's up.
And the Vikings set to go on offense to begin the 3rd quarter. And they do trail, but they have a chance to possess the football first to try and do something about it.
And that certainly makes it something of an important drive for him, because is it going to win the game? No. But you have to do something now.
Got that pressure on him.
And the timing of good offense time is how it falls to the ground. Dalvin Cook is running back the intended target, but it'll be 2nd down. Now Bridgewater. Smith catches left side. And from the 25, they work this to the 29. A gain of 4. 4 yards a gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because it really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point of attack block.
Come on, y'all. Y'all got to guard that middle. I put a man there to guard the middle. Come on, bro.
12 yards there. 1st down, Vikings. Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. And not a lot of daylight. Not really any daylight inside, as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try it again 2nd and 10.
Get him.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run them on short gains, your risk reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the
That's right. LeMeckle. That's right, LeMeckle. 8 sacks this season as a rookie.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been a surprise, but that was perfect execution. Their nimble defense, that fifth defensive back, the extra defender, he really tightened up things downfield in coverage, and they were able to get to him in the pocket.
Here's Brian Anger now, as he's on the clock for the first time this afternoon. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as
looking to throw. It's caught on the right side of Smith. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. He keeps the sticks moving.
On first down, Barrow. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Second and 4. This is Smith throwing right up. They'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. 41 yards on the ground for him so far. A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. They'll keep it on the ground. Barrow. And all the way down inside the 5 and a 4. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal. And he gets halfway home
Oh, he's hurt again?
on the 2-yard line.
Damn. This dude, man, he stay hurt. Come on, Gus. We need this one.
This yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? They'll look to run with Edwards. And he is in.
Gus Edwards, let's go.
Gus Edwards, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Red Dragons are able to widen their advantage. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Let's take it into boxing, Ray. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the play.
What's up with our runner, man? Is he really hurt? Like, I hope, man, he keep getting hurt. He's a power back. I might got to switch him to elusive.
And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Extra point by Koo, up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0.
Muscle cramps will return soon. All right, your day's over. Good thing we got a backup. Got Gus Edwards. Bring him in. We got the 10-0 lead. Just got to play defense.
It's a touchback. Now the Minnesota offense.
And we definitely going to play deep because they're going for the air.
Quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
But it's wild, though, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
2nd and 9.
We getting that sack, brother. You can run from me, but you can't run from the Meckle.
Now a 3rd down. And that's going to do it. Clock hit zeros. They're not going to get another playoff time as run out on this 3rd quarter. You are watching the NFL on 88 Sports. 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Here's Bridgewater. And complete. That's over the cut.
We'll take that.
These guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
Big hit.
Again, this isn't
Big
where
hit.
you want to take the game tape and hold it up as an example. I mean, you talk about frustrating.
Big play, Slay making a big play, of course.
I think that crystallizes it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's been representative of their entire game still being shut out. Edwards now on 1st and 10. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. Got to figure now after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, you're going to get a good chance to end up winning this game. Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now they'll switch it up here. Look to throw. Flush to his right. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. An 8-yard touchdown run. And the Red Dragons add on to their lead. And it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. He continues to show at this level that he can not only pass for touchdowns, he can run for touchdowns.
Not the first time we've seen this, because this young guy, he really makes it happen. So what that tells me is the book on him has to change. You got to now plan for those legs as well as him throwing the football.
Koo able to connect on the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0.
That's 17 up on him.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. And now out comes Minnesota. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. A first down throw for Bridgewater. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. To throw is Bridgewater.
Miles, you could have took that.
Incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Bridgewater on 3rd and 2. And Cook has it left side. And he slips it past the 45 before being tackled. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
I put my defensive cap on right now. I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They control this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Throwing is Bridgewater. Now he's hit. Bridgewater loses the
We'll take that.
defense. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
As they say, this game hasn't exactly been one for the books. I mean, we're into the 4th quarter here, and now this happens, another turnover. Now we're only going to hold up and say, yeah, this has been a banner.
Still sitting on 0.
It's one thing about the team. Sometimes we be shutting teams out.
Line of scrimmage to 37 on 1st and 10. A play action fake. They'll look to throw. They'll buy some time running. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Line of scrimmage again to 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. They'll try to run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's going to get this
inside the 30. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
I have to jump on myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. You got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. 40 yards rushing for it now in the ball game. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's our visitors with the football as we get you reset. And you have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. Out the gun now on third down. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And they'll get this down to the 10. A strong pickup of 11 keeps their drive alive. This is caught. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
And that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down. Hit the tight end there. Now brings up the second and manageable.
Just found a hole in the end zone. On 2nd down, it's Edwards. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Gus Edwards, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Red Dragons are going to be moving on to 12-0 as they extend their lead further.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Rides a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Extra point by Koo, up and good. And the lead is now 24. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off.
They're a tough team. The score may be 24-0, but they're a pretty tough team.
And this will not be returned. It'll come
Made me think a little bit.
Minnesota's offense takes over possession. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory. But it does not appear that that's going to be the case. Just too much to handle on the other side of this one. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. First down, Bridgewater. That's complete. It's Cook. Not much there, only a yard. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down. Now a timeout called for by the offense. As they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Bridgewater. And he'll get this up past the 45. It's a first down, but the tackle comes in bounds. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get him with 26 seconds to go in the football game. And this one completes to Smith.
Oh, I hit him. I went for the truck stick too early.
On the 45. Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Bridgewater to throw it. Complete. It's Johnson. 5 yards. Now it's 35. One last shot.
We'll take that.
So this crowd will not go home happy. It's a
Yes, the undefeated season continues.
total team effort, Charles. On
Total team effort.
So it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field. So you gotta like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think that's saying
And he put a total team effort into this one. He's right. 5 takeaways, 113 pass yards, 120 yards rushing, 6 yards per average per play, 24-0. Our kicker gets an upgrade. Power. We might need you on a long distance field goal. We came out of that with no injuries. Good game. Advance to next week. Let's put some of these staff points to work. Go to halfbacks. Staff modifications. Switch to unblock for offensive linemen. Catching traffic for tight ends. Us versus the Bears. They got Khalil Mack. Let's see who they got on the line. Who they got? They're at 81. They ain't gonna be no pushover. So they got Khalil Mack as the X Factor. I got Fletcher Cox and Von Miller. Miles Jack is a superstar. I got Miles Jack, Darius Slay, Mitchell Schwartz, Josh Allen, Penny Swell, and Russell Gage. So the only X Factor they have is Khalil Mack, left outside linebacker, and no superstars. But they're a tough team regardless. By their rating, it looks like they're pretty good. So you got to keep our thinking hat on this one. Let the announcers bring you in.
Tonight, from San Diego, California, it's Week 14 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's San Diego taking on the Chicago Bears.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Chicago Bears and our home team. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you take a look at our home side as we enter play here. They've handled all comers through the first 3 months, a perfect 12-0.
Yeah, they're 3 quarters away to a perfect season, and now's where it really starts to get into your mind. We'll see if it affects their play in any way.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Bears, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
All right, let's get it. Who's their quarterback? Oh, Justin Fields. Oh, man. He must have just started playing. Oh, he threw an interception last week, huh? First play out of the bat. Let's go. Got him again. That's right. Holding, probably. We division rivals, huh? Great catch, Bunkley. That was about to be an NO. Great catch, baby. That's right, Zach. They put Gus in. Mm-hmm. You're gonna stop our guys. That's right. Good put down, Sherman. All right, let's get back to it. Go with the deep zone. He gonna get that. He's gonna get that. He didn't get the first though. We clinched the wild card. Mm-hmm. Mac put the hit on him, but he a power back. I couldn't get injured before the playoffs, bro, messing around with me like that. Couldn't catch him. Let's go. Let's go. That's right, the rookie with the run back. Great coverage by the punt return team. Great run back, Rook. Huh. Get down. That's right, Miles. Skip that. It's cool. We're going to punt it away. I don't want nothing dumb to happen. Go ahead. Oh, that was an NO. Good defense. Good defense. Pass interference. Offense. Great catch, Ward. Greg Ward has been playing great ball. Might hit him with that contract. Right, Burrow. He's top level when he's healthy, baby. Oh, Penny Swell went down with an injury. I hope he's not really hurt. Damn, broken ribs. Not Penny Sewell, man. Somebody else got broken ribs too, our wide receiver. Damn, now Penny's down. Bring in Kevin Osimley. He can scramble. He can scramble. Ooh. We'll take that. Fifth interception this season. Zach Ertz, big play. Right, that's right. You're having an amazing season. It's gonna continue. Hey, they covering them passing lanes, man. I'd love to throw some yards and get a touchdown, but today ain't the day for that. #1 in takeaways. We'll take that. Kayvon Williams. Oh, he's hurt again. Hit pointer will return soon. Nope. Gus Edwards. Good thing he had a good game. All right, he's out. Greg Ward had to get me a touchdown out there, boy. Oh, he juked me. Look at that sack.
Protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and home.
Great victory. Great victory.
Help leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the home team here, the streak lives as they move to 13-0 now on the year.
And they will hit the road next week to take on Washington.
Meanwhile, for the Bears, any slim hopes they had at a playoff berth gone now as they drop to 4-9. And they will be at home next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
I only had my one touchdown this game. Got a lot of upgrades. Miles Jack, our middle linebacker. Put this on field general. Patrick Richard, our backup fullback. He's doing well. Put that on blocking. Kyle Burrow, our rookie halfback, that's having an amazing season. Put it on power. Jimmy Wilbur, our left end. Power. Trying to go with a power press. Power plays get you across the goal line when you need that goal line push. Lindsey Bolden, our wide receiver. He's stepping up pretty well this year. Might be a 70. Center, a backup center, power. People had good games today. They had good games today. Players need to renegotiate. All right, one second. Players are looking for contracts. So let's see. One player that I know have stepped up has been Greg Ward Jr. I think he's really elevated himself. As a player. He's been around about 4 years. He's about to be like a 76 team player. Morale, catching, jumping. He wants $13 million over the course of 3 years. That's about $3 million salary, about $1 million signing bonus. I could offer him that. I'm excited to sign Jagray to stay with the team. Yup. He can stick around. And the rest of them I'm going to let walk. But he really has one new injury. It's probably the boy with the broken ribs. Penny Sewell's out 4 weeks, and so is Bennett. He's out 3 more weeks. So they probably won't be back to like the playoffs. We really needed them. Okay, so we beat these guys. Move to next week. Staff has some points. Let's put some points on the staff. Stamina for the linebackers already got. Tackling for the cornerbacks. Let's put some more tackling so we got our tackling playing well. Make sure there ain't no free agents out there that we need to take a look at. Nope. All the same people. Trades are turned off, and I don't have any draft picks, so I don't need to worry about the draft. Do weekly awards. Fletcher Cox, 5 tackles, 4 sacks. All right, let's play the Washington football team. So I have Fletcher Cox. They have Jonathan Allen, defensive tackle, X Factor. We have Von Miller, left outside linebacker. They have Terry McLaurin, wide receiver, superstar. Chase Young, right defensive end, superstar. We have Miles Jack, middle linebacker, superstar. Mitchell Schwartz, right tackle, superstar. Darius Slay Jr., cornerback, superstar. They have Brandon Sheffram, right guard, superstar. Montez Sweat, left defensive end, superstar. We have Josh Allen, right outside linebacker, playing the line. Cameron Curl, free safety, superstar. Russell Gage Jr., our wide receiver, superstar. And our tight end, Edward Buckley's a superstar. So they have a superstar, free safety, left defensive end, left defensive tackle, and right defensive end. So, and a defensive tackle. So it's the line, and their line has a good push to it. So we might be the run game might not be able to function the same way it does normally. We're going to have to see if the run game, because we might have to rely on the air. I'll let the announcers bring you in.
It's a pretty frigid December day in our nation's capital. We got our space heaters on full blast up in the booth at FedEx Field. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between our visitors
and the Washington football team. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Washington team as they interplay here.
And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
On the other side of the field for our visitors here, they've been flawless all year long as they hit the home stretch at 13-0.
And now they just have to guard against complacency. You still got to go out and earn it every week.
All right, let's get to it. Oh, I'm going to miss this one. This is going to be a horrible kick. Got him at the 40. That was so stupid. We'll take that. LaMeco Johnson with the tackle, with the sack. Come on, Kevin. Kelechi on Simile. Kelechi, I've been calling him Kevin. You know, it's about putting up points. I wanted to get it to Burrow, but the coach subbed him out, so he must have been tired or something.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. And Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2.
And they had the fumble last time that it led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. See what they do here this go around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over. The other team takes it down and scores. That could be a deflator for a football team. And it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick this thing back up.
We'll take that. Fifth interception this season.
Remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and then they went after that one, and they took it all the way.
Koo down for the point after.
And it's good. And that's
Got 14 up on him.
So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And they just had that pick six. I guess the only purpose they made it to return it for a touchdown. This offense right back out on the field to try to make up for it.
Because now it doesn't give them a chance to really set and sit and see
Got to him late, KJ.
back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
We'll see if they can do it here. That'll be a pickup of 29 yards there. Brown on first down. And his throw is incomplete.
Brandon, we saw these defenders fly to the football in the win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
Now it's 3rd and 5. This defense very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And no matter what's done throughout the game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just
Great defense, Miles. He's about to get another one.
very few missed tackles.
Oh, LeMeckel's hurt.
Last game, this team doesn't match.
Hopefully nothing serious.
So on 4th down, Washington going to call it Trent's way to punt it away.
They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. 35 yards that time on the punt. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory.
Let's bring in Sheldon Richardson. Don't need anybody getting hurt before the playoffs. All right, let's go.
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Funkley's a superstar? Oh, that might be a flag. Come on, Taylor.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
dimensional.
I think you did.
Well, to be honest, I did. I think the fan base is hoping with this young rookie that they can put some wrinkles in this offense like we just saw.
I think you're exactly right because we did have this discussion that what we've seen in the past from them, they needed to broaden, and they have done it here. Look what he's bringing to their offense, and now the defensive coordinator, you got some extra work to do to prepare for him and their offense.
Smith with first down and more. And he'll finally be taken down just shy of midfield. That covers 24 yards. It's a first down. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. On first down.
He didn't fall for it.
Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough. Forced out to his left. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it will still leave it with a third down. Here's a play fake. It's a set to throw.
Oh, I threw it too hard. Put too much gas behind it.
Catch called for and made at the 16 and maybe the 17-yard line. Officials just 27 yards there on the punt. And Washington football now for first and 10. Out there setting up for this next drive, the Washington offense. I don't think it's in search of their first score. They're in search of their first downs this ballgame as they come up first and 10. Give him 5 on the carry there. It's a second down. Waiting for the gun. First takeover is in for the tight end, Rob Gronkowski. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Gronk's first catch, good for a first down. Looking to throw. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards instead of another first down. Back to throw. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Gronkowski, the intended target, and second down. They'll stick with it once again. It looks different.
That's right.
He's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Fletcher Cox, the former Mississippi State Bulldog, ringing the cowbell there on the sack. It's a secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on third and long. Looking to throw. Cecily caught right away. They do get this across midfield to the 49, but a small consolation prize as he's well short of the first. Here's Tressway now. As he'll kick it away for the second time. He'll get this away, and I see somewhere there. And no return here. Worthington spot it. They say just outside the 20-yard line. There he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. A big reason why they've been so successful is this defense hasn't been able to contain it when it gets outside of the pocket.
So true, and that's where it's really difficult because defensively, you can have a game plan and try to account for all things you see on tape. It's even his running, but when it's a play where you just can't really say, okay, that's how it's supposed to go. When they call broken plays, that's when the X and O doesn't work. That's when their Jimmy is better than your Joe.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he rifles one incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything in the coverage. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best for him, he's got second and third down with that backup.
Once again, they'll go to the 23-yard line on second and 10. On the handoff, Edwards. And he's taken down, able to slip across the 35. A gain of 13, it's a first down.
If you want more carries, it's going to be legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for it. Show that you're supposed to get the football.
Back to Edwards on first down. He puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for the gain of 6.
Why is Gus Edwards in instead of Burrow? Is he hurt? Burrow's the listed number 1, but they keep bringing him in for third downs or something. It's like a rotation what he's doing with the running backs. Hopefully he didn't just get hurt. Waited too long in the pocket. Big tight end. Superstar tight end.
Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And with a 3-score deficit staring him in the face, they might have to press the issue here trying to get points out of this drive. Middle of the field, he's got the ball. And it's going to get a second gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and running a yard.
Get down.
Washington going to go
this game go from here? As we are back at it now on AG Sports. It's a tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. And this offense set to go now to begin the third quarter. The first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer on the reach with the score here.
It's a wonderful opportunity for them because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the ball, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Again, it's Edwards. And the tackle at the 35. They give him about 4 on the play, but he's right short, so it'll be 3rd and about the length of the football. Now a handoff, Edwards. He's taken down at the 53, but not before picking up the first. 40 yards rushing for him now. It was his 10th carry in the ball game. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go along at the 43. We'll give this to Ward. They'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
Come on, Tyler. You've been messing up this game, bro.
You've got to stay close to home if you're running a yard downfield. They're going to toss that flag, and they did there. They'll drop to throw. Escaping the pressure right. It's complete here to T.Y. Hilton. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 45-yard line. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's gone here. He also picks up a first down. He'll look to throw. He's got a man. This is tight end. That's complete. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on potential.
Trying to understand why they keep bringing him in like that. I think it's because the halfback continues getting hurt, and we're close to the off season.
He's good now. He's getting a chance to be great.
He'll be brought in at the 27-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there. It's a first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in. There's drive. Because you see that type of a run, I get the feeling your defense is getting tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They'll look to throw here on first down. This is caught for Hilton. It's so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Back to throw here. Tremendous is over, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Down as close to going on first down. Surprised that wasn't a run.
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to go with the first down in this situation.
That's a take it. Ends over for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Touchdown number 15 on the year and 2nd of the game. And the Red Dragons take the opening kickoff of the third quarter drive right down the field.
See that power push him forward.
So it was the passing game that got him down here closer to the goal line. It's the running game that gets him home.
Here's the defense, and they're thinking that passing game was going to be the entire drive. Nice
Good tackle, Vaughn. Damn, Wilbur's down. Good chase down, Farley. Wilbur's hurt. He dislocated his shoulder. We got Trey Flowers for it. We'll just adjust. Mm-hmm. Great defense. Where is my dude? Yo, why do they keep put... Why is he not playing? Oh, he's probably keeping him out. Is he injured? No, he ain't injured. That's why he's not growing, because they keep putting the other ball in. Oh, better not be on Kevin. Zach. Come on, Zach. Wasted down. We'll take that. That was my fault. I threw a 50-50 ball. It's cool. Ertz didn't play off him.
First down. just 19 seconds left on the clock. Now a second timeout called from behind the defense. That'll leave it with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Back to throw. Brown.
Get to him. Get him. That's right. Shutout, baby. Kept that shutout alive. Mm-hmm. I care about Washington. Cam Westerman doing work. Zone. He's at 80 now. And he's a star. He's developed into a star. Our tight end. Let me check the NFL roster. Our tight end, I think, has developed into a superstar. Yep, look at him. He developed himself into a superstar. I don't know what's going on with the depth position. I think it's because we're close to the playoffs. They're not playing our halfback like that anymore. They're kind of like protecting them. So I'll just let that be the way it is. Let me come over here to halfback. Yeah, he's number one, but they probably don't want him running too much going into the playoffs, which is understandable. There's no point worrying about scouting because of the fact that I don't have that many first-round picks unless I get some first-round picks, which I don't know if I'd get in the offseason like that. Might be able to eke out like one pick or something like that. But I think this is a good place to stop the stream. We've been going for about 3 hours and 18 minutes. It's almost basically it's about 6:30. We started somewhere around 3. So I just want to say today's been an amazing stream. It was fun playing with you guys, fun talking in the chat. Thank you to anybody that watches the stream back on replay. You are greatly appreciated. Anybody that likes our stuff, subscribes, sets alerts, retweets on Twitter, likes our stuff. You are the 51 Dynasties, and we do it for you. If you haven't already, go over to our official brand website, www.sr51media.com, where you can find over 100 hours of gameplay and more. We are SR51 Media on Twitter. We are SR51 Media on YouTube. I am Saltares on Xbox. And we are SR51 Media on TikTok. You have your good rest of your day, and thanks for being here today. Peace.